Around a year and a half ago, I picked up my backpack, I packed my suitcase, and I left England for good. I haven't been back since. I went to Thailand for £1,000 to my name, and my mission was to figure it out, to make money online. Because I wanted to travel, I wanted to have that freedom. In England, I didn't have that freedom. I was working a job I didn't like in a supermarket where I got told what to do, which I kind of hated. I didn't want to work for minimum wage. I wanted to do my own thing. So I picked up my stuff and went to Thailand with £1,000 to my name. So I was there for 6 months. And how did I do that? Well, it's about just making it happen. It's putting yourself in a situation where you can't turn back. There was no way for me to not make it happen. Otherwise, the worst case scenario would have happened, which would be to go back to the UK, which I hated. I was actually depressed there. I really, really hated that place. The environment, I had no friends. It was cold. It was moody. It was cloudy. It was not the environment for me. I knew I had to get out of there. So I got up, picked up my stuff, and I was trying to sell fitness coaching. So trying to sell fitness plans. And I made some money. I made a little bit of money here and there that kept me on my feet. Around $400 here a month, an extra 100 coming in, an extra $50. But as I was running out of money, I was like, damn, I don't want to turn back. I don't want to have to go back. So how do I make money? I started selling my stuff from home. I got my dad to put my stuff onto Facebook Marketplace. So I sold my guitar. If you guys don't know, and you probably don't know, is that I was a songwriter my whole life, a guitarist. So I played guitar for around 17 years and I was very, very good. So I had the guitar that meant a lot to me. I bought that for around £2,000. I decided, okay, would I rather have this guitar sitting at home and not have any money, which means I'll have to go back to a place I don't like, or would I say, okay, that's fine, I'm gonna let go of this thing so that I can live the life that I want. So I did. I sold that. I sold my guitar amp as well. That was an extra 500. I sold loads of musical stuff that I had bought because it didn't really mean anything to me. I wasn't using it. Really, what meant a lot more to me was trying to have the freedom that I wanted. It's trying to live the way that I wanted to. So I was selling my stuff. At this point now, I literally have nothing else to sell. I have no possessions. I am still with my backpack and suitcase that I originally packed a year and a half ago. After 6 months, I went to Hungary, which is where I'm from originally. I literally just stayed in my grandma's house for about 6 or 7 months and living barely on whatever money I could make, around $200 coming in or $1,000 coming on, or 600. At this point, I was in sales. So I was selling fitness coaching for someone else. So it wasn't my own fitness coaching program, it was someone else's, and I was selling it and I was making around 10%. I was literally barely making any money. I was making around $30 a sale, which is still above minimum wage, but I had to go through so many of these calls. And I was really spending like 10, 12-hour days doing this. And my best month at that point was around $1,500, which for 12-hour days was nothing. However, that was the alternative. That's what I had to do to make it happen to stay there. So I got to go to Hungary, got some sales training because I knew if I increased my sales training, I could make more money. And I was there for around 6 or 7 months. I was literally just like barely living. I didn't spend any money on anything. I didn't have to spend on rent because I was in my grandma's house by myself. And I was just making it happen, just figuring it out. I got to a point where I got onto my first offer. I made some money. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to go to Brazil because I've been to Brazil before for a month. I had an ex-girlfriend who was Brazilian. So I came with her like 3-4 years ago. And I remembered, like, I just want to go to Brazil. Brazil, such a beautiful place. It's an amazing environment. The weather's nice. The girls are beautiful. It's a happy, vibey lifestyle I wanted. So I got there. I got a few of my friends. We all just rented out a lovely Airbnb. Then, started making more money, but the money kind of slowed down as my new offers were slowing down in terms of lead volume. That means kind of booked calls on my calendar who I could sell to. So I was kind of trying to find different ways to make money in terms of different offers. So I tried out like 3, 4, even 5 offers that were just not good enough and where I wasn't good enough. Okay, so my income was very, very limited, and it came to January this year. It's currently April, but it came to January where I was like, shit, I actually have to make it happen this month. Otherwise I have to go back to England. At this point, I'm about a year and let's say 4 months in, okay, to since I left my home. Still same, still the same backpack, still the same suitcase. And I was like, I have to make it happen this month. I need some money coming in. So I got into this new offer that was business to business, and it's a long sales cycle. I didn't actually make any money in January. I didn't actually make any money, but I persisted. I believed that I will in February, which I did. I made a couple grand in February, which kept me on my feet. Okay, and it's been such a struggle for me to live the kind of lifestyle I wanted. However, I'm not. Here's the thing: you have two options. You can either go back home in a place you hate, where you really hate your environment, and get money, and you don't have to spend as much, or you keep living the kind of man that you want to be with the kind of lifestyle you want to be and try and figure it out. That's always been my thing. I'll always live the way I want to live and the kind of lifestyle I want to have, and just try and figure it out and barely get by. Because then I identify as the kind of person I want to be, the kind of lifestyle I'm doing, the habits, the actions, the way I show up emotionally is so much better. Like, I'd rather do this and barely get by than, save up a couple grand whilst I'm living miserably. That's not happening. So, February passed, March, I got into a better offer. I made some nice money. Now it's April. I made as much money in April so far, halfway through, than I did in March. So things are looking better, but still not the best. However, it's just my persistence that is my biggest and most beautiful attribute I have about myself, because I will persist on making this happen, making this a reality. Whereas most people in my situation would have given up. Most people, by the third month in Thailand, would have gone back home and said, this is not for me, this is too hard. Most people, by the 6 months time, would have just gone back home trying to figure it out, just try and make some money, go back to the 9 to 5. That was not a thing I ever wanted to do again. That is my burning building that I'm running away from. Every single person has a burning building they're running away from and an ice cream truck they're running towards. The ice cream truck is where I want to be, but the burning building motivates me so much more to not be in that position again. I can't live with the same kind of people around me again, with the same kind of mindsets that I used to have. I've leveled up my environment, my network, my social status. I am a high level man now compared to where I used to be. And I have to live up to that standard. And that's how I have to show up every single day. So that persistence is such a key thing if you want to make it happen as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. If you don't have that kind of persistence, you're going to give up. Most people do. It's like traders. If someone's into trading, some of them have been trading for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years and have made no money. Or it's that persistence that keeps going. Yes, it can be stupid because you obviously need to change things if you're not making money. But that's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to go out there. I'm willing to spend money to invest into better skills so that I can make more money. So even though it's taken me around 3 years to make decent money now, at this point, 3 years ago is when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I actually invested that money back into my skill set so I can make more and more and more money. Whereas someone would have just never invested and would have never made their first dollar online. So I would say persistence is a huge thing, but also keep investing into your skill set, into making more money, into leveling up, because speed is such an important thing. The reason why I want to keep living this lifestyle is because I only have one life. We only have one life. And I'm young and I want to experience this now. I don't want to have to wait 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. That's not for me. I want to experience it now, and I'm going to figure out how I can continue to live this lifestyle, as opposed to waiting 5 years, saving up money, and then being in a better position than having to go back. Because if I go back now, then I'm literally telling myself that's okay, that I can just do that. But it's not. I would hate to do that for myself. So persistence is a huge thing. Reinvesting into your skill set is a huge thing. Now I'm in Mexico. It's April, and I continue to keep traveling. No, I don't have a lot of money saved up. In fact, I have none. I still kind of live on a month-to-month basis because traveling is expensive as hell, by the way. It is just a couple grand a month at least that you're spending on traveling. But I'm going to keep doing it. It's not about saving up money and then kind of dropping that on something or investing in different areas. I'll keep working on this skill set of sales so I can make more money whilst living the kind of lifestyle I want. And look, better stuff comes from that as well. Now the last few months have been better for me compared to literally the last 2.5 years. So it's like, as long as you're persistent and as long as you're diligent, you keep turning up, putting the time, commitment, and energy, You emotionally handle yourself so you don't literally burn out and have the worst time. Like, you can make this happen. You can make this happen if you just keep going. You're persistent and you make the right moves. And even if you don't, you can always get back on the horse and do it again. So I hope this was helpful. I appreciate you watching this far. If you actually took something away, I would really appreciate a like, maybe a comment on how you felt about this. If you want to do something similar as well, I could probably give you some advice. I'm not the most experienced guy in the world, but I have some good stories. I always learn from my experiences traveling. So like it, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you boys and girls very, very soon.